Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Girls Frontline 2 video. Today's video, we'll talk about Centaureissi and of course how you want to build her with the attachments, keys, weapons, and of course something that a lot of players asking is V1 versus her signature weapon. Alright, so let's jump into it, let's talk about it. Now first things first, a very important side note here, Zucchero Cafe right here, we have this particular event going on. So I figured I'll just give you guys a brief summary on what you want to do in this event. So basically you sell coffee as per usual, you gotta upgrade this and then you can basically put the coffee right here, right? And this is going to increase your sales income, opinion sticker, whatever, right? And you are trying to get right here, you're trying to get all of these things. This is going to give you the points needed, these things right here, to be able to obtain stuff from the Zucchero merch right here. So you can see you can obtain plenty of different things, including the basic info core, the collapse pieces, which I recommend you to get ASAP, right? And you can see it's not only in this particular section, but it opens up to the next section, popular merchandise here, which you can get some targeted access permission, more tickets. Premium merchandise is going to give you more collapse pieces, and of course the limited edition merchandise, even more basic info core. So those are going to be very helpful. Make sure you are toggling around from time to time to check out from some of the characters, their head will have that thing. That means you'll be able to obtain bonus resources from some of them, right? Now as you can see, across this coffee, you can see there's this thing called the one-click collect. You'll be able to collect all of these things, right? Now those things are going to be the feedback sticker or feedback sticky that you can basically use. I did some mistake early on trying to combine this, but you have this thing called the opinion box. Now as you can see, when you click some of them, they are going to combine. How do you upgrade them is right here. You can click this. It is going to upgrade accordingly, right? So every 3 of the same notes, you are going to combine them to the next shape up until the end. However, there's going to be a pattern that you want to do this to try to obtain the extra notes. So let me see if I can show it a little bit to you guys right here, right? So we're going to take example of this particular shape right here. So again, I'm trying to form a triangle right here, right? And then I'm going to bring this right here in the middle. So that combines and give me a bonus item. So you want to do that so that you are able to get a bonus item. I guess this is not that crazy, and if you don't want to min-max, that's fine, but it is going to give you all of resources to power up your characters and your weapons, right? Alright, so let's talk a little bit more about Centaureissi. Should you pull for her? Again, keep in mind that most likely it's been confirmed that Zucchero is going to come right after her. So if you are going to pick one particular character to pull, I personally will go for Zucchero because Zucchero is a very strong DPS and she is going to help your account by a ton. But Centaureissi is also going to be a very decent healer. If you don't have Swarmy, I would highly recommend to get her. Now here's the truth though, right? Right now, if you are playing or if you're tackling in terms of trying to do multiple things in the game, including boss battle or even Gunsmoke Frontline, which is the end game, alright? If those are going to be a priority, having 2 healers is going to be very beneficial. So you got Swarmy on team 1 and then you got Centaureissi on team 2. Now another character that can perhaps do that or help heal your team is going to be Springfield later on. But Springfield is going to take a little bit more before she actually comes. We have no idea when she will come. Right now, as far as I know, there's still plenty of other banners yet that we need to worry about, right? So keep that in mind. So I think Centaureissi, if you care about pushing the end game or if you're trying to have more comfortable runs, in most cases, she's going to help you a ton. Now if you have Swarmy, you may be able to get away with not having her. If you are a casual player, in most of the other campaign stages or whatnot, you only need 1 healer, alright? You don't need to bring multiple healer. It's more of the end game where you need 2 teams or 3 teams, maybe, right, depending on how you want to do your Gunsmoke Frontline. That's where the power of Centaureissi comes in. Now there's a lot of other 4-star options out there that you can perhaps use, but let's not deny that she's probably going to be way stronger compared to the other ones. You got Cheetah that can do a little bit of that. You got a Colfin, if you guys did build her, she can also help you to heal. And of course, Burn team right now, you're pretty much going to use Xenia, right? But Centaureissi is going to fit much more in line inside the Burn team. She's going to be an upgrade to Xenia, and she is going to give pretty decent buffs on her own. Alright, let's first talk about Centaureissi's most important kit. Alright, the most important part of the kit is going to be her passive skill right here. Alright, at the start of the battle, gains hit recovery. This is very important. So you get 30% HP recovery before you get attacked and recovers 2 points of stability. And of course, you can also cleanse 1 buff from the person attacking you, which is the attacker in this case. This is a burn buff, very good. When user is under the hit recovery, increase damage there by 20%. And when heal, additionally heals 10% of the user's max HP after active attacks applies overburn for 2 turns, right? Now where it becomes interesting is this particular part. When enemy unit within range receives targeted damage, alright, from an ally, basically it's not AoE but a target that you can prioritize, single target damage usually. Prioritize performing 1 instance of action support, very very cool. Dealing physical damage equal to 80% and 3 points of stability damage to them. So she is going to be similar to Swami in the sense that she can help support your ally units to do action support, which I am a big fan of, right? Applies the hit recovery to the allied unit. Again, very very good. You are going to get this burn buff right here. Gains 1 confectance index against that skill points, and this can trigger 2 times per turn. Very very cool passive skill right there, and that's going to be literally built into her, right? So she is going to fit very well in that Chongju team. If you guys have Chongju Shakri, that is going to be probably her best partner. So now let's talk about the other skills then. She has 3 particular skills. One is just a basic attack, right? So her skill tree is going to be her best kit. As you can see, it's quite expensive, right? You need 6 skill points or 6 confectance index. So ideally, when you're starting off, you only have like 3 right here, unless you basically give the passive to basically get that. So you are going to get this. Now again, it is a entire map. You can see literally affects everyone in the entire map, right? Affects all allies regardless where they are. This is going to be her biggest strength, right? Because you are able to heal regardless of where your allies are. I like the flexibility in that sense. Restore HP equal to 100%, decrease 2 debuff, removes 2 debuffs and removes fear and stun. Very very interesting. I hate stun the most, right? And of course restores up to 7 points of stability index to the ally with the lower stability index. And of course then you apply hit recovery on them. So very very good buff overall from the ultimate skill, right? You ideally don't want to spam this as much. Now a Swami's one probably is still going to be a bit better because Swami heals and also gives you shield. Now if you are to compare between that two, I think Swami is going to basically be a little bit better, right? But you can see on the second skill, this is where it gets very interesting. I like this particular skill right here because not only can you heal your allies, you can also do AoE damage to the enemy if they are within this particular range. Now you notice right here, you can only target the allies to heal them. You cannot click on the enemy to basically do damage to them. So you target the ally, and then it's going to basically heal the ally and do damage to the enemy. So keep in mind, you cannot use this as an offensive skill. This is going to be still a healing skill, but it happens to do damage surrounding the enemies, which I thought is pretty cool, right? Basically, within that 7 tiles, it's going to restore HP to the target and also do AoE physical damage equal to 50% of attack to all enemies within range. Now, of course, if the enemy targets have overburn, this is going to remove enemies' buffs. Can be useful for some bosses, right? Can still be pretty cool. So look at this right here. Boom. Damn, that is crazy, man. That is just a very very insane skill overall. Now obviously the positioning for your allies is going to be very very important in that case. You want to like pay attention to that and try to take advantage of that, right? Now last but not least is going to be her skill 1. Alright, this is going to be the most basic one. She can also heal on this skill. So all 3 of her skills can literally heal you, right? Select one enemy target and she's going to do burn damage. And after she attacks, she's going to restore HP to the nearest ally. Alright, in this case, like this enemy is here, this ally is the nearest one. I will be able to, right, in this case, restore this guy's HP right here. Look at that. So that's pretty good, right? You have a lot of this heal skill. If you know how to play the game, or if you're playing the game manually, I think she's going to be a very good contender for one of the better healers in the game. Now let's talk about the most important debate regarding should you pull copies or should you pull for a weapon. Now, her weapon is not that good. Number 1, it can only be used on her. Number 2 is pretty much kind of limited in terms of the usage, right? You can see when healing with active skills, if target stability is less than 1, restore additional 2 points of stability to them. So you have to, number 1, this is going to be a little bit of a harder requirement to meet, right? You have to be below certain stability to basically benefit from this particular passive. One more is this can trigger at most 1 time per turn. Now when the user stability is full, healing and damage deal are increased by 20%. Again, the second condition also requires you to fulfill a condition where your stability has to be full. Now if you get hit by an enemy AoE and then your stability index is a little bit lower, right? Now you cannot benefit from this passive skill. So 2 passive skills are very very conditional, and the condition is not in the user's favor. So I would say this weapon is pretty much a bad weapon overall, right? So what weapon should you use then? If you care about improving your Centaureissi overall, it's better to get her up to V1. V1 is going to give her way more. So when you get her up to V1, you can see right here, when action support is triggered, which she can do, additionally applies Blazing Assault 2 and damage up 2 to the allied unit for 1 turn. Alright, very cool. You are going to be able to give attack 15% and of course damage up 15%. And of course later on in CN, she's going to get buff even more. She will get this mod kill later on. This is already happening in CN. Very good buff to her at the beginning of the battle. Alright, after using the ultimate afternoon tea break, and that's going to be the ultimate skill, right? So she's going to grant invigorating tea to yourself and for full 2 rounds. Alright, this is going to be able to give her some buff right here. All allied units gains 10% critical damage boost and 15% burn damage. Very cool. Again, using the active skill, Zucchero Special Drink applies perfect protection to all allied units for 2 turns. Now, perfect protection, I thought this is kind of insane. This is going to make her really broken because it prevents damage from basic attack and skills. Literally, she is now she's like a mini Swami. She doesn't have the shield, but perfect protection is almost like that. It gives you invulnerability to any basic attack and skills. This effect is removed after taking damage from 1 basic attack or skill and is considered a buff. When allied units deals burn damage, perform follow-up attack and gains 1 stack of Confectance Index. All of these are going to be able to benefit from her. Now, this is going to be very good. Highly recommend if you guys can afford to V1 her. Now, even if you can't afford to right now, I know with Kluke coming up later on, it's going to be a little bit difficult. You can wait a little bit until the end of the banner and then make a better decision by then, right? By then, we will have confirmation if it is going to be 100% Kluke or not. But you can always get her V1 on a rerun later on, so that's going to be an option as well. I wouldn't be pressured too much to pull for her right now. So since her weapon is not that good and her V1, her first dupe is going to be way better, what weapon do I recommend? Now you can consider going for Gueno. Gueno is a very good one. She is able to benefit from this. For each ally unit within 5 tiles, increase healing and damage dealt by 6% up to 18%. So this is mine as level 2. It goes up even more. Gains 2 tiles of additional movement after the attack. So Gueno is going to be a pretty decent one. Now if you don't have Gueno, which is the Battle Pass weapon, you can obtain this specifically from the Battle Pass. You can also consider her own weapon, which is the 4-star variant right here, the Sturm Gewehr 36. Now this condition is, there's still condition here, right? 50% less HP for you to be able to benefit from that increased damage or healing. Her exclusive weapon is going to give you a little bit more stats, but she probably don't need that because she's a healer, right? So that's generally my advice. If you can, and if you really want to pull for a weapon, it's better to pull for a DPS characters one, where that's going to give you more boost, more damage overall. Now when it comes to the set attachments that you want to use for her, she's going to need a very specific one, and that's going to be the emergency repair. Now emergency repair is going to give her the best one because, you know, it's going to improve her healing ability and of course restores the stability index, and this can trigger once every turn. Considering that her heal is insane, you can definitely benefit from this most of the time as well. Now in terms of the substats, for her you want to go with attack percent, alright, that's going to be the priority, followed by attack, followed by health percent, and then now obviously if you want to build her tanky, you can go with defense percent, that could be an option, right? If not, you can also go with crit rate. I would say that's just a little bit of extra damage if you care about that, but ideally making her tankier is going to make more sense, right? Now if you want to go with phase strike for her, I wouldn't say it's that bad of a choice, right? Emergency repair is going to be probably better in the long run because of the stability index improvements, but you can probably, you know, stick with phase strike for now if you have plenty of that, because I know that's what most players farm for. Now let's talk about the keys. Okay, so we have done with all of these. In terms of the keys, which is going to be the priority? So the last two, this particular one is going to be the most important one on her. When healing an allied target with active skill, cleanses 1 debuff. And of course, if you got hit recovery, which she can provide, you are able to cleanse 2 debuff. Very good for her overall for debuff removal in general. One more thing is this particular one, alright? When healing an active target with active skill, if the target has hit recovery, randomly applies 1 powerful buff to them. I definitely do appreciate this. This is very good. You need that additional buff sometimes, right? Just to do more damage. And this is going to be very helpful. As when it comes to the last one, I'll probably go with this one, alright? 3 Confectance Index at the beginning of battle. This is going to give you the most in terms of the usage out of her, you are going to be able to use the ultimate at the beginning of the turn just to give the hit recovery buff to everyone. Yeah, this is going to be the 3-1 that I recommend. And for the remaining of the standard key, just go with similar to the attachments substats, right? Attack boost, health boost, and then defense boost or flat attack and flat HP. Those are going to be beneficial. Now, for her main team, ideally, she's going to fit very well in the burn team or the fire team rather, right? So you got Chongju as your main DPS, so she's going to be the one doing your most damage, and then you're going to put Shakri complementing Chongju together, and then she's going to be the main healer. Alright, in this case, you're taking out Swami for the other team. You got Centaureissi going on right here. Now, obviously, the third slot for now, you can slot it with anyone, right? But once Vector comes, that's the one that you want to look for. This is going to complement your burn team overall. It is going to be a pretty solid one. But you could probably go with something like Nemesis or Macchiato fits in here as well, right? There's a lot of flexible characters that just fits perfectly well in here. Or you can even put Groza in there if you want to play more risky and try to play like a counter playstyle. That could work as well, right? So yeah, that's gonna be it for this particular video. Let me know if you guys got any questions. You can ask away in the comment section below. As per usual, I do stream on Twitch every single day. Feel free to hop on in. If you got any questions, you can ask me right there as well. Subscribe, give this video a like, and I'll see you guys later. Have a nice day. Goodbye.